Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the SaaS Marketing Makeover. I'm very excited today to be joined by Sam Patterson, head of content over at PFL. Welcome to the show, Sam.
Hi, glad to have got the invite. I'm really excited to dive into this.
It's going to be amazing. Now, we never really talked about this, but you don't know who we're actually doing today, and neither do I.
I know. When I got on the prep, I'm like, okay, they're going to spill the beans and give me like a few minutes to prep. And nope, hush, hush. So it's legit.
So for everybody out there, it really is hush, hush. I want you to know that. We were having some fun looking at some of our own marketing, and now we'll get to look at somebody else's. So are we ready to spin the wheel, Sam?
Let's spin the wheel.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah, let's let her rip.
I'm kind of nervous.
Ooh.
Okay, I know all of these except the D one. Is it gonna
Yeah,
be
I was going to
D1?
say the first one.
Oh, Notion.
Notion, okay. I'm a little less familiar with Notion too, I'll have to admit.
Okay. Have you used
That's a
them
good
as a
advantage.
product?
I have not
used them?
have not used their product.
All right, let's start with the obvious thing about their positioning. How do you feel about all-in-one solutions?
All-in-one workspace. Well, it doesn't really tell me exactly how it's going to help or give me much, like reading that, I'd be like, I don't know what this means.
Okay, so what would you rather
That's
see here?
homepage?
This is the homepage. Yeah, this is.
Okay,
So
and maybe I need to read the fine print. What does it say here on underneath?
one tool for your whole team. And we use it as a wiki. So it actually is pretty cool. And you can have all your different stuff here. So on a fully remote culture, it's really nice to have your wiki super accessible and all your documentation organized. Now, we don't use project management. We still use Asana for that. Note taking is obvious. It's kind of like Evernote, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But the wiki part is really cool. I wish they talked more about documentation. We have a really heavy one. Oh, they don't link to engineering. Is that weird to have these here, but then not link to them?
Yeah, those feel to me like here's some solutions we have depending on your role, your organization,
it's a pretty awesome
etc.
landing page that you're kind of waiting to get to, right? Because if you put it this far above the fold, right? So let's say I'm scrolling and they're built to empower every team. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a designer. Heck yeah. Let me see how this helps me.
Yeah, there's not anywhere to really click even prior to that. It's here's what we do, here's an image, here's some logos. Oh, I can sign up, I see at the top for, what am I signing up for? Just the plan or for the service.
Right, let's see. So I have it. I don't have let's do a test at. So I already am a customer.
Yeah, I think as this pulls up for the headline, I'd like something a little more benefit driven to connect the dots right off the bat. Like it's oh, it's all in one. To me, that sounds comprehensive or maybe easier, but how does that really benefit me and my team?
Yeah, it's the same positioning these guys have. One app to replace them all. It's very, and then I think Airtable is the last one. I think Airtable, they're all on this very similar positioning statement. One workplace, endless solutions. It's very much their value prop is get rid of all your different products and just use us. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's almost it's weirdly slow right now. Do you feel like that's kind of fighting the actual current? I don't know about you. Maybe it's just my experience because I'm in marketing so much, but we use different tools. There's no all-in-one marketing software. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I mean, to me, the value is the integration. How do they all integrate together cohesively so that you can use all these separate tools and not having silos. So it is interesting to think on ease of actually if you came to me and said, hey, we're going to replace everything you're currently using with just one tool, to me that sounds a little scary as far as implementation time and change management. And so I really need to be sold the benefit of how easy is this and how will it really impact my team's life and make it easier for us, because right now with the integrations we have, it's fairly easy. Although I get where it's oh, I'm blowing up on email, I'm blowing up on my chat, I'm blowing up on my cell phone and social, and that aspect of all the ways that you can be communicated with. and then document sharing, it can get a bit overwhelming. So
No, I
yeah,
get
I'm
what they're
torn
saying.
on that.
I think it works. Like I didn't replace Asana with them. I think Asana is just better at project management than they are, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I did replace Notes. And like we use this now, like this links to our Google. I mean, you probably know if you're on G Suite, it's kind of hell to organize Google Drive.
Mm-hmm.
So we use it for those reasons. Now you get down here, this looks like the first clickable asset, actually, if you think about it, right? Not clickable. Nothing's been clickable yet, which I think is like, I guess these are, but they don't take you anywhere. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah, and it's again, it looked like the same call to action midway through.
Yep, it is. It's kind of consistent, which part of me likes. I wonder when I sign up though, is it free when I sign up? I'm curious about that. It's free. I think it'd be wise for them to maybe put the word like, watch what this does for a hero page. If I go in here, because to me, if you were to like sign up for free, to me is like a little bit more compelling since there's not a lot of context, right? Like you told me it's an all-in-one workplace and you asked me to sign up. It's a weird, I think it's a very early ask, if that makes sense.
I agree. And even just the start up, like, can you start for free or something? What do you think? Would that be a little bit more? I hear sign up and I think sign up for a newsletter or sign up for a community or something. A little bit less on sign up for the solution.
Yeah, and I would maybe see how like they use to see like I don't think that's what someone's concerned about when they're going to give you their email is like, is it for team and individuals? I think you want to do like something like this. Watch, no credit card required, trusted by 250K teams.
Yeah, remove the friction and the trust.
See that? Like that to me is a pretty big win for them. And I know it sounds silly, but like I think that alone, and then I think you're in a really nice spot there.
Mm-hmm. I like that a lot better.
Because it's not a lot of context to like what I'm signing up for, to be honest.
And then add some links. If I'm seeing, I like how it kind of scrolls through these images here and the different components of their product or their solution. Why not make that image clickable so that I can dive in? It's like right off the bat, if I'm interested in notes and docs, let me get to that quickly. Because like you said, there's nowhere to click here or below where they also mention notes or who they can help. Or I guess this would be more of their solutions. Above is maybe more components of their product. But they're forcing you to go to the nav to click.
Well, your background's content. We all know that linking from the homepage improves our bottom of funnel ranking, right? So like because they have this team wiki page, I'm just I think they chose this in all transparency. I don't know anyone who would not link to their team wiki page when they have they must have chosen this in my mind. Do you know what I'm saying?
You purposefully not linked it?
I think so, because I think they want me to scroll through all three.
To see them, okay. I'd be interested to see how that affects their scroll.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with it, but I do think they chose
down the page.
Look at this. I thought this was pretty cool. Figma's knowledge base keeps everyone informed. Insights from this is kind of cool that they used it. I would get rid of maybe the move button.
Scroll there because it doesn't scroll very much.
Yeah, and I wonder what they did here.
When I started here at Figma, I started as a team.
Oh, that's a dope case study, right? To have a good case study from Figma.
Yeah, like when they actually go to the site, their customer. It's really cool.
Oh, look at that. And you can try the template. This is sweet. See? So then you can go look at what's new and they can show you. See, this is the kind of marketing I love with like product kind of led marketing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I love it because you're testing it. You're demoing it yourself live. Well,
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so I like how they do much better with the interactivity and the clicking of getting to see what I want to see, and actually trying it out is awesome.
They have a UX belief in this design, though, that they want you to scroll is really what I think. Because if you notice, nothing really
numbers.
Everything's based on like sequential scrolling, which I actually haven't seen anyone do. Because I mean, I've been doing this show for a while now, and I don't think anyone's done sequential long form pages. I think it's kind of clever, actually.
Yeah, I'm interested to see like what's showing on the back end for how people interact with this.
Yeah, because it'd be cool to throw a Hotjar script or something on here and see like
Yeah.
if scroll depth is like right here, and we're like, oh well, this concept. Because I know that's what happens to all of us, but I don't know if any of us also pull off the UI like they did, where it has numbers and everything, or UX.
Yeah, are they losing people because they're clicking too quickly? Maybe. So I'd be interested to see if they tested that.
What do you think about their organization, their product page, and their like content here?
Yeah, we got Team Wiki project. Okay, those are the 3 products up top. I like the imagery, the icons on there, just to quickly visually recognize what the products are. Let's see.
You sell mostly to enterprise, correct? So let's see how they communicate their enterprise value prop and maybe some things you've learned that maybe they could take. So Notion for enterprise, share knowledge, ship projects, and collaborate. Okay, so that's kind of their. This is what I was talking about earlier. This documentation stuff is, I think, the coolest part.
This looks vaguely familiar to the homepage.
How much more productivity? I'd like them to say things that only they can say. Right, the average enterprise company gets X amount of productivity, as with the study done by Forrester. Let's say, more efficiency. Partner with Harvard Business Review. And then total transparency, and they have their magic quadrant, right? I could do 1, 2, 3, just like that. Oh my God, who does this super well? I think it was Amplitude I saw who does this really well. I'll show you what I mean.
Yeah, I love quantifying what you're saying, what they're pitching, like actually telling, we drive significantly more revenue. It's like, well, like what does significantly mean? That's different for enterprise versus startup. It's different for everybody. So how can I like wrap my head around that in a way that even makes any value or sense to me?
I love that. And I think, Amplitude does an amazing job with social proof, and you'll see right here, see how they use Harvard Business Review for enterprise. And they have the social proof here and still on brand, which is pretty dope. This is their category, the digital optimization. This seems to be their category. Let's see over here for Notion.
Yeah, what kind of category is Notion in? All-in-one solution
productivity. They're in the productivity category, probably.
Productivity. Okay.
I don't know if they'd like that, but I'd probably put them in that category.
Makes sense.
Yeah. It's really good with HR. They do this. It is actually really good here. So I think they do. Like, this is how I know it, right? We're at 100 plus people, and I use it. I don't use it for design. That's fine. But I think we use Figma for that. But engineering, product, we do use it for product. We don't have engineering here. I would argue there's probably not a lot of organizations that are going to move off Jira or something for engineering with Notion. I think you probably have a pretty hard ask to get the CTO to move to Notion, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think that would be a tough one to pull there.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to get that one. Yeah, I know for a fact you're not going to get any head of sales worth their salt to move off Salesforce.
Nope.
So
do they do integrations then? If
right here,
say as a buyer, I'm like, okay, these are the tools that we're absolutely not moving from, but these are the tools we want to use or the solutions with Notion. How do we then not get into the same pickle we're already in with siloed products that we're using for our productivity? Like, how can we integrate what's not changing with your all-in-one solution so that they work?
I agree. I think this is awesome. They have this, had it with Confluence, moved to Notion. Yep. That's dope because it's a big competitor. But I agree
and they
with
must be using that for, I'm guessing, some paid ads and even just for SEO purposes, people saying what's the difference between competitor and me or you.
I agree, and they have this like building blocks. But you're right. If you want to sell enterprise, like I think when we look at yours, just for a second, you immediately talk about your integrations here, and it's very much like what you work with. I think it's on your platform page.
Yeah, probably the platform page.
Right here, yeah. See, it's like Oracle, Salesforce, Marketo. And so you're doing that because you need that. Like, no one's going to hire you if you don't work with their tech stack.
Yeah, that's everything we're built on, is that we integrate the analog with the digital. So we got to show how it's easy.
Well, let's use a story right here, right? So HubSpot gets their lunch taken from them for a while, in my opinion, because they refuse to do a good Salesforce API integration because they want to push their own sales CRM. Just like Notion wants to be all in one. it's that Apple approach, right? You got Windows and you got Apple. You got Salesforce and you got HubSpot, right? Salesforce thrives due to their app exchange in many regards. HubSpot thrives due to their usability, which is the same thing Notion's doing. But when Notion tries to go upstream, if you don't have these integrations, you're really kind of frankly stuck because you can't integrate to larger accounts. Is that a fair assessment?
I'd say so. Yeah, the more enterprise you get, sometimes the more stuck they are, and it's way harder for an enterprise to move off of a tool too. It's a much larger investment just with change management and the process of getting switched over. So that would certainly something, it doesn't, they have, it looks like solutions for enterprise, but it's maybe not as clear on how they work with enterprise when that enterprise is either unwilling or going to be very slow with transitioning some things over to Notion.
Yeah, I could totally imagine that. I was also curious to get your take. Where was it? On their pricing. What do you think about this pricing page?
Let's see. We got $0, $4, $8, and enterprise. Try it for free. I find it interesting. You can try the enterprise for free. Looks like all of them are try for free, except for the first get started. So is the try for free, when you click that, is that you sign up? Is it different than the get started or the sign up that was on the homepage, I wonder?
Well, let's see. Those ones don't seem to be working for me. But yeah, it must be different because those weren't working, but enterprise took me to a type form.
Okay.
So yeah, it must be a different. I wonder if it's the same for team. No, it's a different flow for enterprise. So I think they might just need to. They might not just change this. It looks like it's a contact sales. Yeah, it's not a. It looks like it's a contact
just get
form.
started, sign up, and then you're gonna get to play with it right away type of deal.
Yeah, I like this too. This is.
I was like, the dollars just changed. Okay, that's cool. The toggle. First, I was like, are they changing pricing just in real time on us?
It's crazy, right?
So dynamic. They must know who we are. No, I think I like it. It's nice since it is kind of a lower cost of entry or barrier to entry in these first tiers. Just showing what it is makes sense for what you're going to pay per person. And then I think it makes sense for enterprise level that's when you need to have that conversation and really understand the needs of that enterprise before you don't want to offer up a price online here that's going to be nowhere near they're going to short sell or yourself or get into a conversation and they're going to be like, hey, you said it was going to be this dollar amount, but this is
what happened.
Now you're saying way more money than I thought. So I think that was a good way to put it.
I like that. You can see here their guides. What do you think about content at this level? Do you need this for user onboarding? Because like usually when I think of guides, it's like more thought leadership. This is very much more like product adoption. If that makes sense.
Like,
or product
yeah,
expansion.
it looks more like a knowledge base type of documents of the how-to. It feels like more of. Is that where you clicked, or was it under resources?
No, I was under resources. I went to guides.
Guides and tutorials. Okay. Yeah,
it's kind of dope. I mean, it's kind of cool to a certain extent, to be honest. Like, I think I wish more SaaS I guess it makes sense, right? So if you have all-in-one positioning, your value is is you need people to use all of your product, and I think this probably fits with that really well. From I always break content into 3 categories. It's acquire, sell, retain. I think this is some of the best retained content I've ever seen.
Yeah, I like it, and it's. Hey, if I'm shopping and I come in here and I see like this is how the kind of support and education I can expect for my end users, like it's going to be maybe a lot easier to get them to change the tools they're using because they already have all of these how-tos publicly facing. Even it's pretty transparent.
Why don't we reorg it, call it use cases, and use it to actually acquire people too, to your point, right? And then we could call this use cases, and now it's easier for someone to understand how they can use this product. Because I think that's a big gap for someone like yourself who isn't in certain Twitter followers, they're all about Notion. Like it's a big deal to people. Like they love their Notion. It's got this cult following. And so to me, most people actually aren't that, ironically, even though they think they are. Like, you didn't really know what they were. Use cases would have been very powerful for you to understand how you could use Notion, and they have some of the best content I've ever seen for use cases in my whole career, actually.
Yeah, I like that. Do you like that? I'd like to see maybe a little bit more color. I know it's probably their brand is a lot of
paper,
looks like
kind
just
of thing.
Paper, black and white, but spicing it up maybe a little bit with some color on these tiles might make it a little more attractive to click in, or differentiate a little bit between some of the assets.
I agree. Let's check out the blog since you are a content director. See what you got coming on.
Yeah, what I got. Ooh, I do like some of their illustrations. Like that one with the pink, the color. It's a little pop of color, but it still fits their brand look.
Yeah.
And I'm getting into visuals now, but
I agree with
it
you,
up
though.
from the black and gray and white a little bit more. Let's see.
What
How
do you think about talking about yourself so much? Not that, I'm very much like, don't talk about us, but maybe I'm totally wrong and I'm screwing up and I should be talking about Directive more on our blog. I'm usually talking about the outcomes someone could get from hiring Directive and not so much talking about what Directive is doing. I use that for social.
I wonder if that should be more of a news or company page content, where we've looked at that too, is separating out some of the actual like promotion, PR, or new leadership, etc., and having that on more of a news page versus on the blog or on a resources page. Just because it's like, people might care, but probably not, and that could just be getting in the way of them to actual useful, valuable content that, especially if they're like evaluating you, or is this going to be a helpful tool for my team? Like, I don't care that you have a new CRO.
Content. I agree with you. See this content, like what's missing from your team's collaboration strategy, how to build a knowledge management system, how to create an onboarding process. This to me is some killer freaking content that, let me see if I click in, effective decision-making models for managers. Okay, like before I make a decision, new templates, decision.
Looks like it's a nice blend of strategy with the how-to, like actually showing in the product how you can do it. I like that.
Wow, to call out bias at the very top. I love this format they built. This is some sexy content that I think they might want to do a better job of unearthing, because I think their current categorization model on their blog home focuses on latest, which I always think is kind of crappy because most people don't, frankly, check into your blog every day. I would probably start 4 teams and I would reprioritize this, because this to me is the content I need when I'm evaluating you.
Yep, for sure. Move that to the top. Make that the default of what you see when you click that resources page.
How do you have you seen a lot of success by creating like education, like, you know what I mean, like these kind of categories? Do you even do that? Let me see. No, you probably don't even do that anymore.
We had them, but we
all get rid of them because there's no traffic to them. Yeah, I got rid of mine too.
I do like having them maybe they're not in the main nav, and this one was kind of more buried at the bottom, but we do have pages that are specific for like a niche industry or segment, where we're using that in our outbound campaigns, maybe some of our ad targeting, where we get them right to some of the most relevant information. But we haven't had that in the top nav for a while.
Yeah,
I think there's a use of it in more of like a targeted ABM campaign, or in search if someone's looking for top productivity tools for education, or I don't know what industry you were on.
They're actually going after
education,
in my opinion, which I think is very clever, because like you don't want to be Prezi where your business model is students, then you try to go enterprise, because I've met with them and I think they're having a very hard time with it. I like that if you're not for students and then you get like early adoption to your product, so when people enter the workforce, they bring you with them. Have you thought about like how you could do something similar, or does your product not fit like that? Do you get what I'm saying? Like how you can kind of penetrate the college students, so when they get out of college, right, and you can get that market, then they bring you with them to their job. I think that's what Notion's doing here. I think it's very clever.
Yeah, I love that approach, because that is the future workforce, and why not hit them early and get some really good brand ambassadors and comfortable with what you use so that they're encouraging others to use it. And it's a little harder with what we do because we are reliant on tech integrations where, your average college student isn't going to have a Salesforce instance that they have access to. So I'd have to think on that one a little bit more on a creative approach to how we can get into that new workforce. I think a lot of it is probably just around educating around the category, the need for the category. Like for us, and I don't want to get too deep into us because we're talking about Notion, but really the blending of the digital and the analog. A lot of the young people, really are trending towards liking direct mail and physical packages. I mean, who doesn't get excited when there's a package on their doorstep? It's probably usually Amazon, but you're like, what? Even if you ordered it a couple days ago, you're like, oh gosh, what did I order? I'm excited to see what this is, even though you have a decent guess probably of what it is, but you never know what your significant other has ordered or your kids have somehow ordered off your cell phone without you knowing, type of deal. So, the younger generations gravitate to some more of those analog experiences. So kind of promoting that might be a good way to get in with them on, hey, this is an important part of your lives and how you like to receive communications and marketing. How can you think about that when you're entering the digital heavy workforce?
No, I love that. And I think, one of the things I wish maybe Notion did better is notice this like solutions here. I think they don't call this out well enough again, if I'm Notion, because I think they have a huge people ops value prop. I think they have a big agencies value prop. And I kind of wish Notion would have solutions in their menu. Mm-hmm. I think they could do a lot better with explaining their product specifically to a type of team or a type of vertical here. And then I think templates to me is the biggest thing. This should be this is the holy grail of content, user-generated content that's product first, right? Like this is the holy grail of what you want to do. So if I'm Notion, where are my templates at? Fam, like where's my templates? Because if I go to like Airtable, they all of them are growing through these like templates, if that makes sense. Because this is their free scaled up like Clutch. I'll show you literally every person is doing something similar. You can see use cases. Like I was saying earlier, like all this stuff is taken from what people are doing. And then when you look at all of like, they do these comparison pages too, which is a big SEO opportunity that Notion hasn't really done. And then the templates are huge for that scale. That people like Zapier, Monday, Airtable, they're all growing from, and Notion has those templates. It's epic. I think they could do a really good job leveraging those templates.
Yeah, because who doesn't love a template? We don't want to start from scratch figuring it out. We want to know like what's the best practice here? How can we elaborate on that? And so much easier that way. And we have an e-commerce side of our business, and we have since the beginning of the internet. And that's really where we've got incredible SEO is from our templates. People coming in, getting our templates, using them. And even if they aren't at the time in a position to use us as their solution or their provider, we're in their mind of like, oh, this is who I go to get these templates and this helpful information. Next time I have an opportunity to change who I'm using, probably going to
here's 150 different company examples or whatever, right? And then you have like that content. So I apologize to PFL.com. Sam is now the CMO over at Notion. Congratulations.
Okay. Promotion. Okay. Where's I'll expect the check in the mail.
Yeah, you'll get it. What are the big three things you want to do? You've been there for, approximately 30 minutes, but you're now the CMO. What are the three big takeaways from our kind of discovery today of what you want to do? Big opportunities.
What I would do is really comes to just looks like some reorganization and making it easy for people to find the most valuable things. So like we just said, making the templates very easy to access, getting your solutions up and easy to access in that top nav. So I
Yep.
know how is this going to benefit me as an organization. And sorry about that. And I think right off the bat on your homepage, this is what we talked about first, is making it very clear, how are you different? You know, when there are a lot of players in your category, you got to really think through like what makes us different and how can we make that immediately obvious, so that, you know, you were just going out to competitor pages and they all said the exact same thing in the headline.
Yeah.
So to me as a consumer, that makes it incredibly difficult to quickly distinguish what's the difference in these players and why are they the right fit for me.
Well, you just demonstrated you can play through the pain, any scenario, anytime. So we're looking at over there. So thank you so much. I love your insights. That was amazing, Sam. And for everyone tuning in, that right there is a SaaS marketing makeover. Thank you so much to Notion. I love you. You have a great product. Hopefully some of these ideas can help you out. And thanks everybody for tuning in.
Yep. Thanks for having me. It was so much fun. Here's my cheerleading crew.
Hey guys.